It had been a last-minute decision to bring the dog. Katie, Jamie's younger sister, had promised to look after him for us, but, as usual, she'd let us down at the 11th hour. I felt the drag of car sickness in the pit of my stomach as Jamie navigates another bend, and I concentrate on breathing deeply, trying to push the nausea away. My nostrils desperately searching for the sea air that we'd been promised, but instead finding the pungent scent of rapeseed from the yellow fields. My right arm feels heavy and itches beneath its cast, but at least it's given me a good excuse not to have to drive. Not that Jamie encourages me to get behind the wheel anymore. Not since early on in our relationship, when I nearly killed us both by pulling onto a busy A-road and narrowly missing an oncoming lorry. Eventually, a speck in the distance grows bigger, breaking up the monotonous country road. A tiny petrol station stands forlornly like a lost child amongst the wild foliage. That must be the one, I say, pointing at it in excitement, trying to remember the instructions that Philip Heywood had given me on the phone 2 days before. Jamie pulls into the forecourt and switches off the engine, and the world appears to fall quiet for a moment. It's a welcome silence, after the constant din of loud music and buffeting wind. Too much noise has always made me feel stressed and on edge, but Jamie loves to play music as loud as he can get away with. He reaches over into the back seat and clips the lead onto Ziggy's collar. "Do you want to go and get the key then, Libbs? I'll fill her up as we're here. Then I'll take Ziggy over there so he can do his ablutions." He indicates a patch of unruly grass to the side of the shop. I agree, relieved to get out and stand on solid ground for a bit. The guy behind the counter is barely out of his teens. He stares at me with a nonplussed expression on his acne-scarred face when I ask about the key to the hideaway. "I don't know nothing about a key," he says while scratching a pimple on his neck. "I'll get my manager. Name?" "Pardon?" He tuts, not bothering to hide his annoyance. "What's your name?" "Oh, Libby." "Surname?" "Elliot. Hall, Mrs." I'm so used to calling myself by my maiden name at work that I sometimes forget I'm now part of someone else's family. He slopes off to the back of the shop, his long arms swinging like an ape's, and disappears through a grey door. The shop's small, and shelves piled high with cans of tuna, beans, and plum tomatoes. I'm the only customer. I pick up some mints from the rack in front of me and scan the confectionery for something for Jamie. Something with coconut, his favourite. Then I watch out of the window as Jamie coaxes a reluctant Ziggy back into the car. Our Mini Cooper's the only vehicle on the forecourt. The guy doesn't re-emerge, and I feel the fluttering of panic that this is all some elaborate con and there is no key or house by the sea. Then a buxom woman with a mop of dyed blonde hair barrels through the door, key dangling enticingly from her chubby fingers. "Elizabeth Hall?" she says, in a thick Cornish accent. I nod and she hands over the key, her face breaking into a smile. "Aren't you lucky going to stay at the Hideaway? Beautiful views. Not that I've ever stayed there myself. I didn't know they rented it out." I take the key gratefully. I don't know if they do usually, we're doing a house swap. Her eyes widen. "A house swap? What a great idea. So they're staying in your house while you're in theirs?" I push my debit card into the machine. "Yes, although ours is a flat, in Bath." "I've heard Bath's lovely. I've never been." She rips off the receipt and hands it to me as I retrieve my card. "A house swap, though, what a great idea." Then her eyes sweep over my cast. "Recovering from an accident, are you, love?" I'd like to tell her to mind her own bloody business, and years ago I might have done just that, but those days are behind me. In my job I can't afford to lose my temper, so I swallow down my irritation. I can't tell her the truth. I'd be here all day answering questions. "I've slipped and broke it," I say. It's only a half lie. "In the playground. I'm a teacher." She grimaces. "Oh, nasty. Did one of those little blighters push you over?" I shake my head and force out a laugh, explaining that I'd tripped over a skipping rope which had been left on the tarmac, all the while trying to extricate myself from the conversation by inching further towards the exit. "Thanks again," I say, waving the key at her and hurrying through the door before she can ask another question. I spot Jamie through the windscreen, impatiently tapping the steering wheel with his fingers. We've had our fair share of rows lately.